Folks in Red Lodge had a chance to ride a time capsule on wheels this Sunday. These are the original buses used to transport people through Yellowstone Park before World War II, and this Sunday they're being used to give the public a peek into the past for a great cause. Thanks to the buses of Yellowstone Preservation Trust, folks like Hamilton resident Ellen Nickel spent their morning riding around town in historic style.
You get a nice little tour of the town, you get to go up on the bench, you get a little history, and most of all you get to stand up, put your arms up, and you get to wave like you're on the parade.
What started as a restoration project for these original Yellowstone Park buses became the buses of Yellowstone Preservation Trust. Don Mueller and his brother John were part of the original group of founders.
Preserving them is important to us, and having people be able to touch them and sit in them and ride in them so that they can experience a little bit of the maybe thrill that people had riding through the park in them.
Formed in 2008, the nonprofit used this Labor Day weekend as an opportunity to fundraise for flood victims in Red Lodge, and it brought visitors with their own personal ties to the buses.
My dad drove several times before and after World War II, and he drove several years up through the early 50s, up from about 1947 to about 1952.
It's come full circle for Jim Stoner as he boarded one of the buses his dad used to drive. He recounted one memory of his parents, the way they were back then.
My mom would always sit up in the front, so when they got off, she'd be the first one off and give my dad a tip, which kind of it loosened all the purse strings.
Even the building in which these buses are housed has historic significance to Red Lodge. David Whitcomb's grandfather built it as a service station in 1936.
In terms of the petroleum distribution system here, this service station is probably the oldest, if not one of the oldest, service stations that operated in the state of Montana.
The volunteers at the nonprofit are working to restore the garage so that the buses can stay there long term. Knowing that your family built this garage and that it's servicing the public still today, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really good. My grandfather and dad and uncle would appreciate it.
In Red Lodge, Alina Howder, MTN News.